started looking really complex. And these were the most challenging shots to animate by far, but they're also the ones that we're the proudest of in terms of technical achievement. And they were all done in Unreal. So this is the whole sequence that I'm really sorry we do not have audio for this. But anyway, we spent a long time working on this. We added some of the fish are actual traditional animation or regular 3D animation, if you will. So we have always a couple of fishes that were hand animated, but the bulk of them were all created using these tools for simulating the crowds. And I don't know how we managed, but we did, and it was a lot of fun. And it was all done by students. Students were the ones that actually figured out the way of getting it to work and that implemented the solutions for this under Pablo's guidance. And we're very proud of it. And I guess that's it. That's the end of our part of the presentation. Thank you for watching. And sorry we didn't get to the audio working, but thanks nonetheless.
Yeah, thank you, Andres, for at least improvising a
Yeah.
solution. And yeah, a quick note, so the school, so it's based in Mexico. It's
Yeah.
one of our Gold academic partner. I had the chance to visit the school a few months ago, and it was really a surprise. And the school is really unique, even in the form and the structure, and what Andres explained about the organization of the production is very unique. And I know that now you have a partnership with Gobelin, so it's really interesting on how we can cross
Yeah.
and connect the different partners. Really, thank you.
That just started 2 weeks ago. We're also very excited about it.
Great. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Joan.
Yeah,
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Julie, for having us here.
So, this project, like you mentioned, is not animated in Engine yet. So one of the big milestone for us was really be able to consider for production schools on how to rig an animating engine. So the good news is since 5.6 in June, that's now possible. So let's have Frederick and Chase present the last update and where we are with animation.
Thank you, Joan. Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Share my screen. Let's see. You guys see my screen okay? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you everyone for coming. We have lots of updates to cover. We're going to cover a little bit of the past release into the current release that just came out, and then a little bit about what's upcoming. So I'm Frederick Nilsson, and joining me here is Chase Cooper. We are both technical product management directors for the animation and rigging tools within the Unreal Engine. We come from many years in both feature animation and visual effects. So we've been really excited about the growth and adoption we're seeing in the animation industry. This has been a key focus area for us, and the last few years have been banner years for Unreal in animation. War is Over won the Oscar for Best Animated Short in 2024. There have been at least 4 feature films and countless series that have been released or are in production. One of the most recent projects, of course, is Predator: Killer of Killers. If you haven't seen it, it's a gorgeous film, super unique style and really intense action. Here's a sizzle reel, an animation sizzle reel, just a short one. Take a look.
There is sound, but I'm not brave enough to sing the soundtrack myself, so you can imagine the really cool music in the background. all about the visuals.
Yeah, actually, I noticed I don't have the option to share sound either. So
I'm sorry about this. It all worked in practice.
It's like a techno kind of music vibe, you know, sizzle reel.
it's really exciting to see the variety in looks and styles that people are achieving these days with the tools. All right, let's see. So, our goal for the past few releases has been to make production of animated content in the engine considerably easier. This was not at the expense of other areas of M&E, which is media and entertainment, but which we are also deeply passionate about, of course. We're building foundational tools to the engine to produce a range of linear content of any look or style more efficiently. These will help you not only create content easier, but also move us all towards an exciting transmedia future where one asset can truly be used across screen and interactive media. Our mantra has been to win the hearts and minds of the animators, which, being an animator myself, I know is not an easy thing. So to that end, Unreal 5.6 was released about June of last year. We've been really thrilled with all the feedback we've been receiving from everyone. We know it was a big release because we were building it, but it's great that it's been adopted and people really feel that jump. I mean, there's been a few jumps, but the jump into 5.6 was definitely our largest. So if we just kind of scan back a little bit and just look at some of the highlights. Like I said, it was one of our biggest releases, especially in the animation authoring and rigging and sequencer side. We introduced new functionality like the cinematic assembly tools. The engine finally knows what a shot is, which is pretty exciting. More development coming in the next releases there. There have been several improvements to the MetaHuman tool sets. Our performance capture tools have matured and became more integrated, better performing, and came with higher level interfaces that make them easier to use. ST2110 for ICVFX became production ready, and also in collaboration with NVIDIA, DLSS upscaling was integrated with NDisplay. We've also delivered some big requested improvements to the engine, such as quick rendering, media playback improvements, and high resolution production rendering. Oh, that video didn't play. So we got so much done in 5.6 for the animation authoring, especially when it comes to quality of life and usability. So I always like to show this giant wall of text because on top of some of the new features and functionality we did, we also made tons of fixes in all these different areas. And this is really just covering my bits, the animation authoring. There's equally, equal amounts of this kind of all over the editor and including the rigging tools. So more on that in a sec. So that trend is definitely something we will continue with the next few releases. We know how much it means to the artists. When you make those little fixes, we call them death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? You go after those things that people do constantly day in, day out, and the tool just will feel better. Chase, hand it off to you.
Yeah, thanks. So rigging in 5.6 was a pretty big update for the tools, probably one of our largest updates in a while. With that being the addition of physics into the control rig graph, we basically took the chaos system and built an entire node set around it so you can access all the chaos tools inside control rig. So that let us do a lot of really cool interactions. We actually developed this on the Witcher 4 tech demo for the horse, Kelpie. So if you've seen that demo, all the hair and the things all over the horse, even like the muscle jiggle was done with the system, and we wrote the system at the same time. So while doing that, it's really opened up a lot of really interesting interactions with control rigs, such as runtime physics. And we're also really starting to get into the world of animated physics with rigs, which is really exciting for our group, especially. We're already finding like really, really cool use cases around this. Another big pillar in 5.6 was sculpting blend shapes right in the engine. So before you would have to import them or use other software like ZBrush or Maya. Now you can update your blend shapes, and they're called morph targets in Unreal. with a whole suite of sculpting tools. You can see down there on the right. So that was a pretty big one, and we have lots of updates for that going forward. And the last one was mostly a long requested feature, which was being able to export your geometry out of the engine from Sequencer into a geometry cache. It's a Limbic, and you can then put that into like Houdini and run, fluid sims or really complicated sims and stuff. This was a really big request for the virtual production space. And retargeting was a humongous update in 5.6, with most notably the retarget stack, the introduction of the retarget stack to the right here. So this basically takes all the retargeting features and runs it kind of like Control Rig, if you're familiar with how that works, in a stack of operations. But more importantly is you can build your own retargeting op. So if you need to do something really specific, which comes up a lot, you can build your own op and have that injected into the retargeting stack to do really interesting things. Retargeting is pretty complex. It's basically a accumulation of a ton of different techniques to make a character match another character. And that was a really big update in 5.6, pretty awesome. All right, then we're going to head into 5.7. So 5.7 from a rigging standpoint, we kind of view 5.6 and 5.7 as like one big release. Our goals with 5.7 was to continue what we did in 5.6 and really just improve everything, like make everything better. And a big part of that was a lot of quality of life. There's been a lot of quality of life all over the tools, which I'll talk about more in a minute. But rigging, retargeting, the blend shape tools, we further went a step further on that. We're investing pretty heavily in this tool set. We wrote a whole new blend shape tool, essentially. So when you can see down at the bottom left on the Agora character, there's tons and tons of blend shapes in there. So this tool really makes that a lot easier when you really want to, sculpt, film level blend shapes, correctives, faces. That's the idea. That's where we're taking that tool set. Control Rig Physics, it's experimental still. It's gonna be experimental for a bit longer, but we did add a really fun feature called World Collisions. It is a secret hidden checkbox. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them. And when you check this, it basically lets you collide with the world. So if you have a level, or if you're animating like Frederick does, you can have a character run into a static mesh, a tree, or do really cool things with that feature. So while it's just a few checkboxes, it's a really exciting feature. A bunch of debugging tools we added to Control Rig, kind of part of our quality of life. And similarly with retargeting, continuing on the 5.6 improvements, tons of performance improvements, and foot contact was kind of like the big thing around that to make improving that. So getting into a bit of the quality of life, not quite as many as animation, but this is kind of the start of that journey. Control Rig's been around for a really long time, since about 2015, I believe. So we're trying to really look back and be like, what are all the things that have bothered us over the last, 5 to 10 years of this tool set existing? There's been a lot of awesome updates, but as we add more features, it introduces more problems. So we're trying to really take a look at those problems kind of for the long term and fix them. And we've done a lot of that, just really adding hotkeys. That's been my favorite one. It's a simple thing, but I pretty much rig like a piano, so many people do. So we added just hotkeys for as many things as we could. And that's part of the 5.7 quality of life. I think there's some more here. I'm not going to go over each one of these individually. It gets kind of technical, but if you've used Control Rig, you should instantly feel some of these changes. It's pretty great. So it's really worth coming to 5.7 if you're on 5.6. It's just going to basically be everything in 5.6, plus everything's a lot better, easier to use. And this is from Helge Mathies' talk from Unreal Fast Stockholm this last year. He did an awesome talk called Smart Control Rigs, showing off features between 5.6 and 5.7. And really, I love this because it shows the power of kind of our system. This is using physics, our new Locomotor. Locomotor is a plugin that lets your character walk around without having to animate it, essentially. And so this rig is basically being controlled with very few controls. I think it has 1 control for the body, and it's blending between the Locomotor, physics, and kind of traditional animation senses. So you can see here, there's this one big control for the body, and you can blend it between these different states. And this is what Controlware can be really good at. Once you know what you're doing, you can build really intricate systems like this. So physics really opens up a lot of really cool things like this. Yeah, I see the arc raiders kind of kick back. Yeah, you can make some interfaces like that and robots much easier to do, and really fun stuff. See, this is another one. Okay, I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones. So this is really showing off physics and how you can rig with physics to do some very interesting things. Maybe not super practical all the time, but this character is really fun and it makes a lot of sense. So characters rolling around with physics, and it blends into a rig and walks off screen with the locomotor. So again, similar to the other one, just kind of showing what these tools are starting to unlock from an animation standpoint. Utilizing kind of all these systems together with as minimal control as possible. And back to you, Frederick.
So thank you. So back to animation. In 5.7, we added selection sets. This is functionality to recall rig controls and selections. We've also done a pass at our UX, which we're going to continue to do again. We've consolidated a lot of the windows and menus. We're trying to make that viewport larger so that you don't have a ton of windows all over the place at all times. The sequencer continues to get more and more powerful with every release. It's such an important part of our animation authoring, but also used in so much more than just animating. So here's a quick video showing the selection sets. So again, our partners at Agora built these amazing rigs, so I wanted to showcase them a little bit, some of the functionality. So you can see here, I've made a whole bunch of sets here on like the arms and the arch controls and the muscles and different, you can kind of organize these however you wish. You can rename them and color them. You can automatically create mirrors. You can isolate the controls in the sets. So here you see I hid everything but just those few controls. So a lot of functionality you would have had to build really complex systems in the rig to do. Now you can just do it straight from the interface, which is great. And these can be exported to like a JSON file, then imported again that you can share with other people or just kind of amongst yourself. To talk that UX, just kind of mention, you can see now when you toggle those different windows on the left there, they appear and they also disappear. So you don't need to have them there all the time. You can have all these are hotkeyable. So I think I have mine on like F1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I just kind of turn them on when I need them and I use them and then I put them away again. So again, it helps kind of keep that viewport larger and declutters, what you're looking at. Again, that wall of text. So 5.7 was equally, we did lots more things. Again, I'm not going to read through them all, but I should share these. I'll probably put them on the EDC post because it's good for people to kind of read through. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get through all of the release notes, but these are laser focused on, quality of life for animators. And like I said, we realize how important these things are. It really does make such a difference to the tool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the other M&E tools. So we extended CAT, Cinematic Assembly Tools, to include easy shot duplication tools and rolled out naming tokens to MRG, which is our movie render graph, the mocap manager, and other systems. We added dynamic prop attachments to our mocap manager to easily constrain props to hands. We realized there's nothing worse than losing data to engine performance issues during takes. So we've added improved robust recording to LiveLink Hub and hitch protection to the take recorder. So with MRG, we added material parameter collection modifiers and burn-ins per output. So you can now output EXRs and JPEG sequences at the same time with different information. You can, of course, export MP4s directly from MRG, especially with the new quick render tools, which is pretty fabulous for animators who like to shoot off quick renders and send them to their supervisors. So sticking to animation, we have a lot more coming if we talk about beyond 5.7. So this is what we are actively focused on now. I'm particularly excited about the direct mesh controls, which is, if you look at that GIF up there, on the left is what animators typically look at on the right is the simpler interface where the controls are actually authored directly onto the skin of the characters. This gets us one step closer to what some of the big studios are doing in feature animation. A simplified timeline is in the works. It's a hotly requested quality of life improvement, so we're aiming to have that in hopefully for 5.8. You'll basically be able to condense your whole sequencer down to a very simple timeline with your keys that you can manipulate and edit, much like other systems you may have used in the past. Do not reboot my Chrome. Okay, thank you. Oh no, of course, it did it anyway. Sorry, it should come back up in a second.
At least your computer didn't reboot.
That is true. It tried to do that
Could be
before
worse.
on me. Yeah. That's not it. Share. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Sorry, back to this. Where was it? Simplified timeline. Okay, we are exploring some new functionality to make it easier for artists to quickly toggle between baked animation sequences and live control rigs, so letting you more easily work on several characters at once. We continue to push workflows to let animators use physics and collision as part of their process. This is a really fun area for us to explore, and we will continue to get more and more powerful. Every day, Chase and others keep sending me rigs, and I can't stop playing with physics. It's just a fun thing to do. So we've seen tremendous response to Odyssey's release on Fab. It's a free plugin. It was compatible with 5.6 and I believe 5.7 now as well. For those of you who have not tried it, Odyssey provides 2D drawing tools in 3D space in Unreal. So texture, 2D painting abilities, storyboarding, and dedicated 2D animation tools. It also brings really nice stylus and tablet support for both PC and Mac. The 5.7 release includes polish and improvements based on feedback, and the Practice Notes team are working on some great new updates for next year as well. So also just released for free on Fab is an amazing animation sample pack that Agora Studios have produced. More on that later. But you know, they and us are really excited to give you all insight into how an animated short can be rigged, animated, and rendered all in UE. There's also been some amazing learning, lots of learning material on YouTube and other channels that you should definitely go seek out. Really, really great content, walking you through the whole process and how it was built and how the rigs work and you name it. All right, back to Chase.
Yeah, so I wanted to end this with talking about our recent rigging workshop. So I would say the last couple of years, we've had a request for training like this. It's a tricky one because rigging is, you know, let's say generally, I don't want to say the most hated task in like computer graphics, but it has never gotten a lot of love. And our goal has been to try to give it a lot of love and make it easier. And so coming from traditional views into Unreal with a rigging tool set can be quite daunting. So we really took a path from this from a while ago. It's been about 6 months of development of this workshop and thinking about like what would benefit users the most. And so we took our users through a week-long training boot camp of building 2 awesome characters. And by the end of the workshop, they'll be able to rig an entire biped, all in Unreal. Whether you've used Unreal or not, you can have no knowledge and come through with this knowledge to build a biped. Go to the next slide. So we used the Agora workshop assets. We actually took 2 assets from Agora and used these throughout the whole workshop. So all of the learners had the choice to kind of follow along. And then there was a project at the end where they could show what they learned. It's pretty amazing. And so one thing I really want to note is I get a lot of requests to say like, hey, I want to be part of the workshop. We do still have some workshops happening in the future, but it is a commitment. And if you don't have that commitment or you want to stretch this out over more than a week, it is all free. The exact workshop we gave from all the amazing educators. The educators were, to me, the best in the world. what they do. A lot of folks from inside Epic work at other game studios. It's really best in class training from the people who build and know the tools. It's 10 plus hours of live training. We gave away 270 plus slides. The example project, it's all free. It's on the Epic developer community, and it's free forever. So if you want to go through this workshop at your own leisure, or just mimic the week-long kind of boot camp training, you can do that on your own time. Next slide. And this is just a sizzle reel of what our first two workshops, what they were able to build. Just some really awesome work in here. Really didn't have any idea. With rigging, it's kind of tricky, right? But we gave them a really kind of blank palette, like be creative, try to come up with some, fun use cases for rigging. And so everyone who participated really put a lot of effort into this. And we taught everything from physics to building IKFK on the arms, building spines and using spline tools to build really cool things like tentacles. Yeah, you can see everybody got super creative. This one's pretty great. You learn how to use the modular control rig system. So if you want to build your own modules, for your teams, you can do that. You'll learn pretty much everything about our tool set and even deformers. So. Yeah, some people we had really went the extra mile, did full renders and animation. Yeah, pretty awesome work. So that gives you an idea if you want to go check out the workshop, what you could be accomplishing by the end of it. And I think that is all that we have for our section. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you, Frederick, Chase. When I see all the comments in the chat, yeah, you're clearly our heroes. The rigging workshop, I recommend everyone to have a look at. We will share at the end of the presentation some QR code to access directly. But I remember in ANSI, we have I think 200 people who sign up just in 2 days after we announced the rigging workshop. So there is clearly an appetite for that, and it's not finished. So we focused on features. So now we will move to how to use these features with some examples. So we will start directly with Taran. I'm not sure he has sound.
I have sound.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
let's
talking now.
Hi.
Yes, thank you. Awesome stuff so far. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you all. Just give you a bit of context of who I am and what I'm doing. I'm a senior animator here at Epic Games. I've been in the industry for about 23 years, traditionally with the other software we would typically use. So I got into the world of Unreal Engine from 5.3 with amazing help from folks like Frederick and Chase and other amazing people on the product team. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of give you an overlook on how to, can you animate in Unreal? What's it like? And just go over the typical workflows I've gone throughout my sort of somewhat mature career, but somewhat young career in Unreal Engine. And it's not as intimidating as what people would typically think it is. So I'm just going to share. Oh, you're right. Share sound and I don't even have the option to optimize for video sharing. Interesting. Okay, so it might be a bit choppy, folks. I don't know what's happened. I think it may have changed the sharing settings. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
So
if anyone in the audience knows, I look everywhere to find an option as a host. I couldn't find anything. It's strange because it worked during the rehearsal.
yeah. So apologies if it's a bit choppy because I can't even optimize for sound. All right, folks. Cool. So yeah, like I was saying, a little quick overview of some of the couple of things I've worked on in the past, some personal projects, some actual cinematic productions that recently came out. The Kill Bill cinematic with Fortnite. Great collab there, really good fun. And actually a bit of sidekick animation that's actually officially released out for Fortnite World. So a bit of both worlds, a bit of gameplay, a bit of cinematics and so forth. Where is my mouse cursor? Hello. Oh, good. Of course. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, just like I was mentioning, what's it like to actually animate in a cinematic pipeline? I also, before doing all of that, a bit of personal exploration of keyframing and, how fun is it? Or how frustrating can it be? Or is it actually, or is it all right? And so forth. But before all of this, this was my first ever anim using Unreal 5.3, where I just grabbed a creature from the marketplace, it was called back then, but now it's called Fab, and I just animated with it, and I just went through my traditional sort of steps of animating, where you just do your blocking and then your primary, spline pass, and then final. So I just grabbed some creature. I forgot the name of the creature actually. Probably can still find it on Fab, but a really cool rig. But the rigs today are way more advanced. So yeah, this was more old school and a bit more frustrating to use, but it was really fun to use and understand the ecosystem and the UI and the workflows within Unreal Engine. And this was just sort of like more the final product at the end, where I was really able to have fun doing this. But I don't know if it's playing real time on your end. I'm not even sure. But yes, if I leap forward to today, most recently worked on this little scene, a couple of shots in this particular sequence of the Kill Bill Fortnite collab, and it was really good fun. Really going into the body performance and facial expressions with MetaHuman Animator as well. Yeah, it was super fun. So I'll just go over that a little bit. All right. Cool. So what you see here, by the way, is the video coming through okay? I'm just making sure. Everything good? Right. Awesome. So what you see here is a typical scene or workspace of within Unreal Engine, where you load up the master level, if you will, of where this particular scene is going to happen on. And obviously the cinematic itself was treated like in a film production, where you would have multiple sequences to that are then eventually combined to make the final edit. And within each sequence, you have a bunch of shots, which are these little icons there that I'm hovering over here at the bottom. Let me make this full screen so you see it more over here, and then you would access them just by digging, double clicking on it, and it would expand into like multiple subsequences where each department would do their work. So you would have a subsequence for layout. So once the shoot was done on set, everything gets ingested, and then a layout includes a camera pass with sort of more assets that are sort of work in progress with raw data, if you will. Then you have an animation subsequence which inherits that information, and then that's when animators can go and do their work and then obviously take it to final. And then at the same time, you've got the environment subsequence, you've got the lighting subsequence, effects. Everyone can work in tandem, in parallel at the same time. That's one of the biggest benefits in working with Unreal Engine, is that you're able to see what other people are doing on the fly, which is awesome. So where's my mouse again? I do apologize. I don't normally have this many technical difficulties, but I'll just hit play. There we go. So as I was explaining there, you can dig deeper into each subsequence, and that's where everything is then shown. For example, once I've gone into the subsequence here of the animation scene, I've already got my control rig, which has the keyframes on it already that were, in this case, it was just facial animation, but there was no body animation. So my job was to actually go in there and keyframe, going through the same typical process I would normally do, which is like blocking, getting your key poses in there, and then eventually breaking it down more and more. I was supplied with amazing reference by my director, Scott Bender. I did get permission, and he was like, yeah, you can show this, it's fine. And basically this scene is where Yuki is licking the ice cream, and there was a very specific direction that he wanted. And what I used, for example, the media viewer in Unreal is a fantastic tool to see reference one-to-one in sync with your timeline. Back in the day, several years ago, we didn't have media viewer, or it wasn't working as well. So we would have to use which you can still do today, put a polygon in your viewport and project your reference onto that. However, it's not staying one-to-one with the camera unless you do some sort of constraint system. But in this case, the media viewer works really well, and I'm able to see one-to-one the performance of the reference. Originally, we had the layout version, which just had basic keyframes, nothing, just to tell the story of the actual shot itself. And then my job was to enhance the whole scene. Obviously, what you see here, the keyframes are, the final output was rendered out on 2s, so stepped 2s, which kind of gives it that sort of semi stop motion-y vibe. But obviously, when I was working, I wasn't working on 2s. I was just going the traditional setting key poses and splining as I go along. But then once it was time to review, we would bake out the result and then set all the curves on stepped. And then here, I'm just looking closer at the reference there of my director doing the performance, looking at details in the shoulders and so forth. And then it will just be like a back and forth with the director, and he'll be able to give notes. And every time there was notes, obviously I would have to then go back to my spline version and then do my tweaks in animation layers. I use layers a lot in Unreal Engine, very powerful, which is funny enough in Maya, the previous packages, I wouldn't use Unreal layers that much at all. But I find with using layers in Unreal just makes things just don't slow down. It's just you have much more confidence in approaching your animation in Unreal. Just knowing that you don't have to play blast, or you just hit play and it will play it pretty much real time. Obviously, these scenes can get quite heavy, especially in this particular production, but there are workarounds to make it a bit lighter, i.e. changing the scalability of your scene, just dropping down the res a little bit, but generally it was working real time. And as I'm showing here, my curve editor, all the keyframes were stepped. But let's say if there was a new note, I'll switch it, go back to a previous version before baking, do my refinements in an animation layer or even on the base layer, and then recycle that process. Another scene, this particular one of the bride, acted by Uma Thurman, I had to follow a specific reference from Kill Bill, and there was a way that she turned and looked at the house after checking off her notes. So I had to follow that reference. But this particular facial rig wasn't a MetaHuman facial rig. If I go back here, you can see here on the right on Yuki, it's using a MetaHuman facial rig, which had the data already on there, and it was refined, making Yuki a bit more in design with animation layers and so forth. But in this particular case, in this particular shot, the bride didn't have the same facial rig. It's more the traditional control facial rig, so I had to manually animate following reference just to get the cadence and the performance of Uma Thurman. And here I'm just sort of showcasing that you can change the scalability. Sometimes I like to see things flat colored, so I'm not distracted by lighting too much, and then switch it back onto lighting just to make sure that sometimes your eyes can get a bit blinded by seeing the same stuff again and again. Yeah, cool. But it was super fun working on this. It was really good. It was, really good production. But before all of that, I did a little personal piece where I just wanted to explore keyframing animation of a body mechanic, and I just took reference of a Bruce Lee scene with Chuck Norris, and here I'm just sort of showcasing my stages that I did. So here I've just tried to do a bit more of an interesting way of potentially showing different stages. And obviously using the mannequin control rig is super fun, just simple and fun. And then here eventually I was able to retarget my animation onto MetaHumans that I created using the MetaHuman creator. And then on the Fab Store, I found a train and did some camera work and made my own little thing. So just quickly going over that inside Unreal. My workspace is more out of the box setup. I know it's very customizable now, where you can actually change the layout of your sequencer and dock your UI the way you want to, but I kept it pretty much out of the box as is, and I just wanted to get, you know, very comfortable with what I can do with almost the, not the bare bones, but pretty much out of the box solutions. So the reference viewer on the right there, the control rigs, very simple, nothing fancy at all, and just going for the more straightforward approach of just animating. Also, I was able to explore layered control rigs. So this was very useful. So what I did was retarget my animation onto MetaHumans I created using the MetaHuman creator site. And I found that just by, you know, retargeting my animation sequence to these rigs gave me like 90% of my, it worked 90% of the time. There were moments where I had to refine. So I'd use layered control rigs, which is like this little orange bar at the bottom here. You can, the text is obviously quite small, but basically I assure you it says layered control rig. So I would have my animation sequence, which is this purple bar here, and then you've got this sort of orange bar here, where I would just additively on the fly update the posing with a control rig that's just sort of following the animation skeleton, the scale mesh animation. And then on this pass also, I was playing with cameras. There's a plugin by Black Eye Camera, which is on the Fab store as well, but there's Unreal Engine's camera tools are really good now, and it allowed me to track very easy just by doing a linear movement on the camera and just like choosing targets, and then I would render out like 3 or 4 outputs and then create my own edit on a post editing software, something like DaVinci or Premiere or whatever you fancy. So it was just a really good way of just being able to practice that sort of workflow that made me feel much more confident moving forward in Unreal. And then lastly is obviously what I'm actually, you know, working a lot now with the Epic Games team here at Epic is on sidekicks. So more in-game stuff, but still kind of treated as more the traditional doing an emotional reaction character animation for a creature. So animating on quadrupeds, the rigs that were given to us were really good, and just more the straightforward approach again, being able to learn how to export on the fly. So every time you save your level sequence, your animation sequence gets updated, and then that's already been piped into the game, so you can pie into game, so play in engine, so you can play your game and update your animation dynamically. So whatever tweaks you do, you see it being updated almost instantaneously. So that was really fun to do as well. Yeah, and then, you know, reference viewers as well, use that a lot. And I saved a lot of time by not having to play Blast. I cannot tell you how much it means. And I'm a person that typically animates a lot just by using keyframes. The graph editor, or the curve editor is called here, I would casually look one-to-one, but I know it's really powerful tool. So there's a lot for me to explore there as well more. But time warp, I use that a bit also if you want to, like, you know, hold a pose a little longer or make a transition go faster. Time warping is really, really powerful as well, which I used from time to time on this particular case as well. Yeah, and that is it. Thanks for watching and happy animating.
Thank you, Taran. So now next, so we mentioned Agora so many times in since the beginning of the presentation. So now the stage is theirs with their presentation. Remy, if you want to jump in and start to share your screen.
Yes, I'll be doing that. And it is true, it is grayed out, just to confirm.
Actually, it's grayed out for me as well, so that's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. All right, so I'll share it. I'll try to explain over the videos a little bit. All right, so everybody seeing my screen sharing? I guess so.
Yes.
All right,
Sorry
so
to interrupt. I was going to say, maybe if I make you the host,
maybe
just bear with me a second.
But
I'll
yeah,
stop
even when I was the
sharing for
host,
now.
it was grayed
Co-host
out
might
for me.
work if you make him a co-host. Typically, when we let people in, it's like panelists, and then you got to do like another step to make sure they're like able to share cleanly. Zoom is a fussy beast.
Did you get a request?
Not that I can see, no.
It says your host. Give it a go now.
Still no. All right, I mean, it's okay. I'll just talk over it like everybody else. I don't get to have more than you guys did. All right, so yeah, so I'm Rémi Comtois, and I'm an animation supervisor at Agora, and we just released the beta sample or the beta animation film, which was entirely done in Unreal, apart from some like VFX, 2D VFX that we did paint outside, and then but still imported it into Unreal. But it was rigged in Unreal, and it was animated fully in Unreal as well, and rendered and lit and all of it. So the goal for this presentation here is really to, or at least, okay, well, I've got the video as well. I guess you guys won't hear the audio. But yeah, again, I can try to make the soundtrack. It's some electronic. I won't do it for the whole thing, but pew pew. So yeah, so all of it, like the goal for this was really to try and push ourselves to make something that is high quality, that is really near the feature film quality, or try to push it as far as we can in that direction. And mostly to build our own pipeline and our own tools, and make sure that, you know, we get the expertise in order to do so for the following projects that are to come. Right, there you go. So now the goal of this talk is to, because we know that people will have been speaking about animation and pipeline and Unreal features. Now the goal is to maybe shine a bit more light onto the complementation or complementary things that we can do in animation that we usually do in films or TV series. So we want to shine a light on, like, hey, we can actually do that and show an actual use case for those. Just a disclaimer, this was done with 5.6. So as we know, and as you guys already saw with the slides for 5.7 and the following updates, things go very quickly in Unreal, and you guys are doing an amazing job to work on those features and keep improving them. So just a caveat of, this was done with 5.6, so the process that I'm going to show might change or might have already changed. Hopefully not too much, but I know it's only getting improved on. So the main things I want to showcase is that we were able to do some complex rigs that we wanted to be able to use detachable parts for the robots, for example. We also wanted to be able to do some smears, and we pushed in that directions for making doubled arms and stylizing the animation a little bit. And lastly, especially for films, this is very important, is to do some shot sculpting in order to fix that final image that we're looking for. And the great news is everything here was done inside Unreal directly. So we didn't have to change software and then bring it back to Unreal. That was all done within the actual features that you guys showed earlier. So let's start with the rig. Like, how far can we take it? For us, we wanted to have like dismembering parts. So this is our rig. It's quite a simple thing in itself. It's basically a hierarchy that we can have child controls that influence those separate limbs. But we also needed to make sure that they also kept working with the actual control rig. So it's really just kind of a layer on top. And thanks to the very well-made world space switching, this is something that we can, on the fly, in the middle of an animation, switch those controls to world space and really start animating them as they go. So this was really crucial to animating this. In Maya, we'd have to make constraints, make new controls, parent those controls to the world controls and animate them. Here in this case, it's just a click of a button, and you can change where it happens and all that. So it's very tweakable and useful. Then we wanted to have secondary motion, hopefully to help the animators to not have to hand key those things. So we had dynamic hair. We also had some dynamic antennas, but most importantly, we need to make sure that we keep control over the posing as well as the dynamics. So this is really important for us. We want to be able to break things and still have some dynamics on top of it. And obviously, we've got the controls on the simulation itself, so we're able to expose that onto our rigs for the animator to be able to go in and actually tweak those settings. Now let's jump into the multiple limbs. So as you can see, this is a shot. Again, you might see it choppy because of the setting. But yeah, there's actually doubled arms, as you might see better in this view. So this was meant to be used for showcasing the super fast movement that the character is doing, while still keeping the understanding of the movement, because if you have something that spins very, very quickly, then you just see it flickering and you see limbs appearing and disappearing. So having those doubled arms really helps to keep that in view and make it understandable. So this is a process where I explain the whole process for the doubled arms, which you guys might not see or not hear, rather. So this is the example that I'm showing. All right, so I'm going to do a bit of an overview over what you guys are seeing. So I do a copy of the beta skeletal mesh first. So that's important because you don't want to change your own skeletal mesh. And then you can go into the model tab, and there's this tool that's called Polycut that allows you to have this circle that you can move around and really choose what to cut. And you can scale those settings as well, so you can choose what to keep, what to remove. So depending if you want to do with just one arm, you can do with both arms, you can do for legs. So depending on the shot that you need to do. And once you hit accept, you will get the whole skeleton and the whole skinning exactly the same as your main character. So that allows you to then do some great things that I'm going to show in a second. Right here, you get to go into your scene, and you can take that main character and you can copy it, duplicate it, or import the new skeletal mesh, drag it into your sequencer, and you can copy paste the control rig because it has the same hierarchy and the same bones. So you can copy paste the control rig from the real animation that you have on top of your arms skeletal mesh. And that allows you to have both arms really lined up perfectly with your current animation. And then you can just take that control rig and offset it for the frames that you guys want to see the doubled arms. And then you can turn those off and on in terms of visibility, but you can really shape the arms however you want in order to create the nice smear effect that you want. So yeah, this is messing my head, to be honest, a little bit, because I hear my audio, but I don't, you guys won't hear it. So I don't know what I sound like. Okay, so that was one way of doing the multiple arms. Now let's jump into the shot sculpting. So this is once again something that's very important. You guys can see what we had before the shot sculpt. We have this character that has very big limbs, so it's very prone to twists and issues in the geometry, especially with the poses that we're actually doing in the show with extreme poses with arms above his head. So that was we had lots of collaboration with Chase and Frederick actually for figuring this out while we were doing it. So thanks a lot for the help, guys. And The first thing you need to do then is to turn on the Skeletal Mesh Morph Target. That's a plugin that you need to turn on. And then that will give you, all right, let's go into the whole process now. So showing some differences once again. And you go into your Skeletal Mesh, and here's the Morph tab that you activated by turning on the plugin. And if you click on the Sculpt Morph Target, you'll get this. And the main issue here is you don't have the pose that you actually want to fix. So this is where you go in the preview settings and select running instance. And the active preview, you can select the beta editor, and that will give you your pose that you have in your sequencer, but not only that, it also connects it to the sequencer. So you're allowed to go onto the frame that you really want to tweak. You can see how it looks, and then go ahead and do some shot sculpt on those shoulders. This is done very quickly just for the demo of it. And then you hit accept, and it gets added to your morph target. So this is where you get those generated by engine, like so. And this is it. Then once you have them, I name them as shot sculpt, then the shot name, and then the frame. So that way it's very easy for me to understand where those things will be applied, where those shapes will be applied. And all of those are stored on the skeletal mesh. So once you've got this, you need to create a new control rig in order to use those blend shapes. So here is the folder where we have all of our shot sculpt control rigs, and it's a very simple control rig. It's just something you need to have one control. You can just import your curves, so you might have to do a refresh here in the curves. And once you have all of your curves, here you can see them at the bottom. And then you have, yeah, so you've got those nodes. That is very simple, that you can, maybe automate with tools. We didn't have that, but that's definitely something you guys could do. And yeah, this control here, the red ball at the bottom, doesn't control any bones. It only controls the these attributes that are then paired with the curves of the morph targets that we just created. So this is the green is the channel, so the attributes, and the blue one is the curve. And once you've got that, you can simply add that control rig on top of your animation. You guys can have your main control rig and then just add the other control rig on top of it, and that will give you those attributes at the bottom here that you can simply go in and animate and blend them together if you want, and do all sorts of shot sculpt. So this is how the whole process of the shot sculpt has been done on our side. We've done that on quite a few shots in order to have that final polish thing. And so I wanted to add also this last little quote is like, to stay creative. I want to mention that these things that we did, like the doubled arms and the shot sculpt, were things that we just did on the fly, that I was just looking through the features that we had and had some chat with Chase and Frederick, where it's like, hey, can we actually use this? Like, I saw that we have this, can we actually use it? So it's about staying creative with the tools that you guys see. So I think especially this talk that Frederick and Chase gave today, it's like, oh, you guys can look through everything that's been done and try to be creative with those tools and go through the documentation. This is super helpful to just go in and see what's possible, basically. So that's it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Remy, and thank you also, Agora, for sharing all your precious work and all the advice. I get so many great feedback of people getting the sample projects. That's really something we were all hoping for. So now from Canada, moving to France and to Angoulême, the pleasure to introduce Alexandre from Loops.
Hello, everybody. You can hear me?
Yeah, but you know that we won't.
We'll not have the
your
sound.
video.
That's not an issue just for the demo, but it's a quick
I think it's you from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because since we all had issue on his video, maybe.
You will work. It will work for me. You know.
Maybe.
Okay,
And
so
yeah,
I'm starting sharing the screen, and yeah, the option is not available like for everybody. I reduced my screening size maybe to get it more freely, but you will let me know. So just to introduce you quickly, so I'm Alexandre Brotteau from Loops Creative Studio. I create the studio with the two associates. So it's a young studio, but with a not so young founder. And so we work in the industry since 15 to 20 years now. And we really want to focus on Unreal Engine because we deeply think that it's going to be a game changer for the animation world, and it's the case. So I will show you quickly a quick demo. So we help people to create pipeline on Unreal and do TV series. So I will talk about this series that we made.
yeah, we will share all the material afterwards for you. Everybody
Okay.
can watch it in better.
Okay, in real time. Okay.
Yes.
To prevent any choppiness, you can also turn off your camera temporarily until the video's
Ah,
done because
you think it will help?
Yeah, help a little bit probably.
Okay, so let me know. Okay. So now we'll talk about this. So le métier in French, and so jobs. It's a quick series. So the fun part is that the animation was not done in Unreal because it was we were not supposed to work on the animation, and when we finally get the animation work, all the rig was done in Maya. But I will show you how we work with this. And as you saw just before, you can do the animation in Unreal, and we are currently working on a short movie, doing all the works in the short in Unreal, and it's a really huge game changer. So a quick overview of the workflow, just to let you know. So we had the modeling, rigging, and material part in Maya. Do you see my mouse on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. Texturing is substance. So we use export file like USD. USD was pretty useful for this, and PNG for the texture. Everything is imported in Unreal to do the look dev for the asset. We can use a look dev asset to create the sets. Key light for the shot, so this is the shot part. The layout was made in Unreal, and we export USD and FBX for the cameras to Maya, and after we import USD and FBX to get all the last things inside Unreal. So the goal of this series was to be able to deliver the final image from Unreal. No work after in Nuke or Fusion. The goal was to have this. And what was really interesting here is that you will see after for the sequencer, but you can manage all your shot of one episode in one way. So yeah, I will accelerate. Okay. So here we are in Unreal. So here I will talk about the asset look there. So like I told you, the company who was working on the asset export to PNG and USD, and after we create a simple tool to allow them to import it. So we'll import the texture and know the kind of material, reconnect all the texture, import the mesh has USD, so they can update the base mesh and it will not change the material assignment. And they create a simple loop dev scene where the artist can adjust after the camera how he wants. So you can see something interesting, like we have the what we call the burning option. So you can have in real time your information, and we allow the artist to be able to change it if needed. You don't need to render, post-process, and after generate the video. Everything is done in real time. So here, as we want to achieve the final render directly in Unreal, we need to have the option to be able to work on the shader, to edit it. So here you can see too the character. There is a ref size, all that you need for look depth, just to be sure that everything is in. It's really important for series to be sure that all the assets are in sync. And you can adjust the camera look depth, the camera lens. Sorry. Okay, and when you are happy with this, you can render it. So here we can, so like I told you, we can adjust the shader. It's not complex, but we allow all the artists to be able to adjust the color grading, all the aspects. So here you will see that we can change the kind of materials really simply. And it was allow us to do like comp color grading in the final stage, or to create variation easily. And yeah, and after this we can render it. We can render it with a tool. So allow the specific preset to be sure with the right control variable to get the proper render, and it will send it automatically inside Kitsu with our asset tracker, with the video and the statue to check for the artist. And they open the video before to send it. Just check your work. It's okay for you. Let's go. And so here you see it's a Kitsu. So it's our asset tracker. It's an open source tool. And so you see here all the tasks with the statue. And for each shot, we have a key shot. So this is an episode named Moods, and all the sequence have the name of the set, and all the shots have the name of mood. So we can track them here, and after you will see when we will build the layout, it will import the right mood set on each shot. So at the layout stage, you still have a first layout pass. What is really helpful for the director, because when he's looking at the layout, he can still say, oh, okay, that's not exactly the right direction, and you can avoid to discover things really lately. And here, based on the casting of the shot, we have the tool based on Ion, and we generate all the shots. So here you see the sequencer. We split the work to be able to work in parallel way. There is a camera, set dress, casting, animations. So with this, it allows you to work on a multiple stage in the same times. For example, we were working on the previous project, and we were 8 people working on the 30 sequence shot, and in same time, and it was working. So here you see we get still the same burning options. And yeah, and like you see here, you can see the final layout result. So you see that we are switching from one level to another. Everything is in the same place. That's pretty cool to be able to work like this. And in terms of environment, at the beginning, the the project was supposed to be in short, small sets, but due to the strength of Unreal, we increase a bit the environment. So I do a walkthrough this environment, and everything is in this set is split with different levels, so different set together. So here everything is loaded. We have we miss few optimization on this, honestly, for the trees, but Unreal was really efficient to get all those millions of polygons. And you can see here how the CG split with different sets. So you load the set that you want in the sequencer. So you don't need to load everything. You can choose what you want to load. And so based on this, when the layout is ready, we made a tool to export all the layout from Unreal to Maya using USD. So like I told you, And so we export all this, and we will build the Malaya scene. We create a blast, send it to Kitsu just to check if everything is okay. And after, we can open it with ions. And so you have the scene. In the scene, you have USD who allow you to get to see the reference if your character imported, your rig character imported are in the right place compared to the layout. So just for the animators to have a look on this, and everything is prepared for animations. So after you do the animation. So here is a simple shot, samples. Okay, and based on this, we create tools to export the blast, send it to Kitsu tool. So when you do the blast, you check it, and if it's okay, send it to Kitsu for approval. And you get it here. And when the director approved it, you can say, okay, now let's import the data inside Unreal. So another tools that we made for this to import USD in streaming or Alembic, it depends about sometimes a few samples. We can choose all the asset that was in Maya and select one if we need an update, or all if we need to create a shot and import everything. We generate a low USD and high USD for this because it's pretty heavy. So for the viewport, directly in the viewport, we use low USD, but as USD is like kind of staging files, we replace the low by the high at the render stage. Okay, now switch to the rendering. So here we have the lighting, so you can adjust everything in real time, like you know. Something was really interesting. We had something for the compositing, like the color corrections. It's really useful. The decal like this allow you to create variations really simply. Just to talk about this, but what we test on this TV series is to do real-time previs with the director, with a art director, so artistical director. So we don't have a look on the blast. He told what he need in the Kitsu. We look at this, we redo the render. So you can lose 2-3 days sometimes like this. No, we do it in real time, change it in real time, and that's it. So the review is a bit longer, but it's quite interesting. So here, motion. So if we want to achieve everything in Unreal, we need to get all the effects inside Unreal. So here, a simple example of raining. This kind of things is really, you will say, okay, let's do it in comp, but here everything is done with a mix of particle and post-process material. Post-process material is a way of doing comp, like you can adjust your color grading and everything in Unreal. So yeah, so I want to change the color or something like this. And after we can have a look on the material varied on the character. So you can, on each sequence, you work on the global sequence, so you have all the shot, but you can edit at the shot level or at the episode level. It's like you want. That's one of the strengths of the sequencer. And here I just update the material for this shot, I enable it, and I had another material just to have this line effect. So you can find free material easily on the fab, and sometimes if you need something just for this for one frame, you can use it, and it's there is a lot of sources, and you can edit it to adjust what you want for what you want. So yeah, another sample is like creating a mask based on geometry to switch from 2 geometry with shader in real time. That's pretty cool. So the animator can see what's happened when you change it. Or another one like this reflect effect, 2D reflect effect. And this is another interesting thing. We are using the stencil, so it's like I will be not crypto, but it's like you had an ID on object or group of object, and in post-process, so with your material, you can apply an effect only on those ID. So it allows you to do like really comp work on it. So you see, I had the small character in the same ID that the first one who switched to green, and so they are both linked to the same effect. And finally, we connect Deadline to Unreal, so it was pretty interesting. But for the whole TV series, we only have one computer under our stairs, and it was really enough. But you realize that you win so much reactivity when everything is getting out from Unreal, because you can do your shot in the morning, everything is rendered. After you can finalize all the episode in one day and do the retakes the next day. So a quick compare from animatics to final render. Yeah. And yes. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandre.
Thanks, everybody.
So after an animation series, let's move to the other level with a full feature animated film in Unreal. So I have the pleasure to introduce you to Kevin.
Hello everyone. Thanks to be here. I'm really glad to be able to show the work we did on the movie The Legendary. I have the audio, so maybe it will work.
Yeah, so it's you get the
Maybe
audio of everybody.
We'll see. Yeah, so we'll try. Yeah. So we'll try the sound just after this. So it's a little bit of a behind the scene, fast one. I'm Kevin Bertali, a CG supervisor on the post animation of this movie. So I was in charge for all the real time, because the goal of the movie and the director Guillaume Vernel wanted to use Unreal Engine for this movie. So it's an adaptation from based on the comic books series by Patrick Sobral. It's an old one. It's maybe 20 years old, and it's very, very famous in French and Francophonie. And we have the luck, to have Cécile Corbel for the original score of the movies, work on the Ghibli. So it was like a great opportunity to work with her. And yeah, it's been like 5 to 4 years to work on this features film. So we start with Unreal 4, and we step up for each version. The movie it's based on Unreal. So I will keep. Do you have the sound?
Yes.
Yeah.
S'unir pour empêcher Darkel de conquérir le monde.
So I didn't put the sound too loud. Yeah, I want to talk about what we did, and so we work on 5.3 and switch to 5.4. So we didn't have the opportunity to animate directly in Unreal, unfortunately. So we stay with the hybrid workflow, or we animate in Maya and we'll export it in Unreal. You will see that it's like a lot of step for this movie. We did the pre-visualization in Motion Builder and at Les Android Associates, a French company who do a pre-visualization. And we switched to Maya and Unreal for the environment. and Maya for animation and rigging. All the grooming was made in Maya with Yeti, and all the FX parts was made in Udemy and Niagara in Unreal. So I will go a bit in depth after the trailer. The things to note in this movie is we made the choice to do a very few compositing. So we try to export AOVs in 5.3 and 5.4, and it was like not really ready yet for us. So we just export Beauty Pass and Cryptomat, and yeah. So it's ambitious movie, if I can say, because there is like 1,700 shots to do, with a few team for the lighting and FX. We were 6 in lighting for all the shots, and a team of 6. So that's very few for a movie, and that's the strong part for doing it in real time, and especially in Unreal. And we were 8 for all the FX of the movie. The animation, the pre-visualization, sorry, was made by Les Android Associés. So all the movie was pre-visualization. I don't know what to say in English, sorry, but it was all made in previs. So we start with a storyboard, and that's the thing about Guillaume Vernal, the director. He wants to do all the movies in previs before going ahead in 3D. So we had the movie before doing the movie. So that's really great to know what we need to do, and to know where to stop using Unreal, or where to stop using Maya and stuff like that. So we had the opportunity to anticipate a lot. And that's why we did the previs, and we did a tech demo to see what we can do with it. I did a little bit of workflow before. It's all one, but I think the goal, and in my experience, I didn't say that, but I work in 3D for 20 years now, and I work in TV shows, movies, and stuff like that. You know, a lot of I'm a generalist, so I do a lot of stuff. And when I see Unreal, I was like thinking, yeah, we need to animate inside it. We didn't have the opportunity. We didn't have the technology yet ready for doing it for this movie, but yeah, that's the linear workflow is how we do 3D before with Maya, Arnold V-Ray, or stuff like that. What I used to do, and that's I think the perfect goal for me, and to have like one wing to rule them all. I would say in Lord of the Rings, that's yeah, one software to avoid doing like back and forth, and it's very hard work, and a lot of development tools to do it. Yeah, the animation was an hybrid of exporting to Unreal. It was like FBX and Alembic. I really wanted to have like FBX only, but it's really hard to do because some animators wants to make specific deformation, and we can't like make a specific rig every time we need to export it to Unreal. So we had to make some balance in exporting, because Alembic is very heavy, especially when you have room also on a big scene. So yeah, I really wanted to have like a sequence of shots for the lighting department and FX department, and they can scrub in it and see with the director everything in a sequence. And I say that someone said in chat that the flame, it's like a flame artist inside Unreal. I'm totally agree about that. I think it's a goal for me. The groom part of this movie was really hard sometime, but it ended great. It ending great at the end, but yeah, we struggle a lot for exporting Groom Cache, and a big thumb up to the 2-minute teams who work on all the technical part for exporting and make it work in Unreal. I didn't say that Dreamwall is a Belgium company who did 70% of the animation. So it was like a multi-site collaboration in Paris, Angoulême, Réunion Island. It's a French island near Madagascar, and in Belgium in Charleroi. So we had to organize everything with a multi-site, and that's where Perforce is really, really useful. And we work also with loops. Sorry, Alexandre. And it was really great to have like a support in every site. So all the thing you see is even the wind is animated in Unreal. We had some shots with Niagara, and we put some physics in it, but there is very few. The environment was a big part of this movie. It's a fantasy movie. There is a lot of environment, a lot of FX, maybe 70% also of shots contains FX in it. So it was like a lot to do. We don't have like big budgets to do this movie because it's a big franchise in French, but it's not like we don't have the same budget as some other feature film. So we try to be smart in it. So we did the environment with Dreamwall and 2 minutes, and we work a lot to optimize because we wanted to have like a large environment to show. So here is maybe the most complex one we had to do. So I optimized this scene like a lot of time. So we use Nanite, Level Pack Actor, PCGIF to have like all the procedural building put in the environment, and it's real time. So I'm like moving inside the scene, and it's working really, really well. And I was really impressed to be able to do this and to be able to move it inside it. So that's really cool. And it's not using wall partition. We use only our level. I'm showcasing some material shader we did. So I had a last minute demonstration of one of the material for the crystal. So yeah, it's not working. Yeah, that's too bad. But yeah, it's here. It's like a multi-plane parallax material shader with only a plane. And we showcases all the character history inside. We're presenting everyone. It's like 5 heroes who becoming a kids, and yeah, it's where they were older. There is some triplanar and the most shader and stuff like that. It's really great to be able to go so in depth inside Unreal. Here is maybe the most complex shot for the VFX department because we used Niagara for the leaf. We use virtual animation texture for the flowers growing inside. Donc it was exported in Houdini. And some smoke made in Umbergen, tweaked in Houdini and converted to Zebra to have like a real-time, more stable one. Because we start with the heterogeneous volume technology in Unreal, but it was creating some problem with the hair, with the groom and the VDB. So we switched, and the Zebra was faster. But I know that now it's really, really great. So we didn't have a choice. We switched to 5.4 between the production, but we didn't take the risk to switch to 5.5 and stuff like that. Here is another shots we did. So everything is VDB made in Udemy and imported in Unreal. It's this shot was like I don't know, on the 40 90, it was like 20 frames per second. So it was really great to light this type of shot. I wanted to showcase that we did a lot of tools. So I made this tool for the shots. It was like the animating director, Elise Berthaud, wanted to animate the specular of the eye, but to don't constrain the specular of the real light and have like a really custom one to make people alive. So I did this with MetaHuman eyes, and I put some specular and a tool for the lighting department. So we did the specular inside Maya. We grab what the reference we need from the animator, and the lighting department put it again. Here is a set of tools we did. So here is a crowd generator to have like a seed to don't change the seed every time we need to have like, that's the thing about a feature film on not video game. It's like we need the same every time. So every particles was deterministic, and even the tools we needed to have like a seed to have the same each time. That's the one I prefer the most. Maybe it's the smallest, but I don't know why, but it's so small. Yeah, that's a scriptable tool, or we can draw a PCG and convert it after if you want to place and rapidly do a advancement for every shot. A little compass I made for just the lighting department to test some lighting beforehand and put it in shots, and some rotoscoping tools we made with deform graph. So we put a plane with bones, and we put a control rig inside, and a lattice deform graph. Sorry, and we had like some shape because we didn't have like time to do a Bezier tools to have like really a real rotoscoping tool. So we did some shenanigan. I don't know if it's and yeah. To finish, I'm an Unreal community leader in Paris. So each year we are in Annecy, so we can meet here. And if you go to Paris, every three Wednesday of the month we do an event, where 1 hour's events with a conference with a specialist of new technology, and especially Unreal. So glad to meet you here, and you can with the QR code have more information about this, and we have a lot of French video, but you can have subtitle in it. So all the subjects in Unreal, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And yeah, the film will be released in France tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think there is like already some release dates for other countries in Europe. Kevin, if you have some time, there is some question for you in the Q&A.
Yeah.
So thank you. So we are finishing the speaker part, and so there is so many good advice, features, and a lot of questions in the chat about the training and the workshop we did and we were giving. So now it's just the perfect time to introduce you to Stephanie Schickel, so our senior training manager in our education team. So she can run you through some, I will share my screen, some of the initiatives we are doing, and the projects available, and what we are preparing and cooking for the rest of the year. Stephanie, are you there with us?
I am here. Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Joan. So exciting to see what everybody is working on. I'm going to keep my camera off. I'm just getting over a horrible cold. Um, but thank you again. And yeah, I just want to quickly run through some free training resources that are available to you all as partners. Uh, just to start us off, always Unreal Academy, all of our blended learning content is available for free on Unreal Academy, and you have access to this as partners. We have learning paths that include the animation essentials for Unreal Engine and introduction to pipeline development for Unreal Engine. And we do have new animation learning paths coming in 2026. If you don't have access to Unreal Academy yet, please reach out to your Epic contact and they can get you set up super easy. Our rigging workshop from last fall was recorded, and this content is available now on the EDC. So this walks through both foundational and more advanced rigging concepts, which allows teams to learn at their own pace. And these materials are especially useful for partners who are onboarding new team members or standardizing their production pipelines with Epic best practices. Looking ahead, we're continuing to support partners through live interactive training. So our upcoming rigging workshops, we're offering hands-on sessions where partners can engage directly with Epic experts, ask questions, and work through real examples, as Chase mentioned earlier. This was extremely well received last year, so we're offering it again for America and EMEA cohorts running in February and March. And then in addition, we also have Odyssey training coming up. So this will help partners focus on understanding and adopting Odyssey workflows more efficiently. And the goal is to ensure partners are fully enabled and ready to use these tools in production. So we'll be recording and sharing what we can. That's planned for March in Japan. And then the animation sample provides practical real-world examples that partners can reference as they build or refine their own animation workflows. As always, we're constantly working to improve our training offerings and excited to share those resources with you as they become available. And as always, reach out if you have any questions. I think that's it for me, Sean. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. And yeah, it's really important if you have questions, anything, please reach out to your education advisor or us directly. A very quick note about Odyssey. We just ran a student training last week on Odyssey. Everything was recorded. I think we have like almost 500 students across the world who follow during the 5 days this training. We will set up everything and it will be available very soon. And as soon as it is ready, we will share with you. So I prepared a few QR code, but we will share all the links after the presentation, also all the materials, so you can enjoy every video with the sound. Really, there is one topic we didn't mention. Stefan Biava, our solution architect, just released the Animation Hub on YouTube with a long list of videos. There is, I think, almost every week new stuff is putting there. Again, the rigging workshop is available on EDC. It's super valuable. And the animation samples of the workflow from Agora is available. One other quick topic I wanted to mention is our service partner. So I don't know if you are all familiar, the one working on the education side, who the service partner are. So the Unreal Engine service partner formally recognize our service team who have a proven track record, strong experience and pipeline, where they can deliver in total trust with our clients. We were focusing on finding some partners, focusing on animation to bridge this gap on engaging the studios. And Loops was a great example we wanted to push today, but we also have Dwarf in France and Zebu in animation in India. And for sure, we will have many more in the future. We put together a survey. I hope it would work in Zoom, but for some reason it was stuck. Please take a few. Oh, it works. So if you can, just take a few minutes. It should pop up on your screen. And if you can't, please scan the QR code. It's very important for us to understand getting your feedback and making sure that the next survey, the next webinar we will put in place are up to what you are expecting in terms of content, in terms of timing. It's very important for us to get your feedback on that. And while you fill the survey, I think we still have a few minutes for questions. Let me check on the Q&A where we are. I think we have all the question answered. So really thank you for the team. Really thank you for the speakers to get so much work to present that, to Kerry, who helped us to set up everything. We just didn't have the help of Zoom, so something happened. I don't know what. Very quick comment. So on the education team, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but every month we are running an education office hour. The next one is on Thursday. You are really welcome to join us. Every month we are inviting another service partners, having a spotlight on some features. And every 3 months, we are organizing one for students. So it's something new we are putting in place this year. And I think that's it for us. There is no more question. Really, thank you everyone for your time. For the next big milestone for us for animation will be necessary Nancy, but yeah, we'll be also at GTC before. Alexandre, do you want to raise your hand?
Yes, it just to let know everybody to be careful that 0 on the sondage is the best note and 5 is the lowest, just to be sure.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Alexandre.
Yeah, we've had people flip that. The numbers get mixed up.